Kutruger, what's the matter? You don't look so good.
Oh, well.
Are you on another bender?
Where'd you learn that word, Melissa?
From you.
Oh, right.
This is diary number 3. I'm kind of on a time limit this time. Not for anything important. I have food in the oven, and I got 12 minutes on the timer. Good news, I'm recording this at, drumroll please, 9:30 a.m. I know. Save your applause. But don't get it twisted. I got no sleep. Literally, I don't mean that like hyperbole. Is that the right word? That's probably not the right use of the word. I got no sleep. Literally did not sleep at all. Because my sleep schedule is still terrible. I know I said I was going to fix it this week. Or no, you guys don't know that yet. I guess I just spoiled. Probably a couple days ago, I recorded another little rant. And I was going to edit it then and have it be like a little like midweek update. But let me just wait. I'm not going to spoil it. Anyways, yeah, sleep schedule is still buns, still pretty bad. What can I talk about? What's happened? Honestly, that rant goes into detail a lot. So honestly, this diary number 3 might just be that midweek rant from last week with just another little few things that happened after that. So I guess I'll just start with what happened after. I watched some new movies. The other day, I stayed up again all night. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself the past couple months. I don't know why. But let me go open my letterboxd. I watched 28 Years Later, which I understand the hate. I get it now. I watched 28 Days Later. I think that's the first one. And it was pretty good. It was alright. That movie was shot on like a I don't know what. It was shot on like a security cam or something. That movie's really old, like early 2000s. But still, like there's movies from the 90s that look better. You know what I mean? That movie looked like it was shot on something outrageous. A Nokia. Probably worse. Good movie though. So anyways, I skipped the second movie like 28 weeks later. I didn't watch that. But I watched 28 Years Later a couple days ago. It was pretty mid. It started strong. I liked the idea. The characters were cool and kind of likable, except for the dad. No spoilers, no spoilers. But the editing and like the VFX at certain points, it was just pulling me out of it, especially the editing. I don't know like what MLG 2010s like montage creator they got to edit this movie, but yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. I felt like I was watching early 2010s like Call of Duty FaZe Clan montage. So the movie was alright, and then I watched 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. No spoilers. It was better though. It was good. I liked it. On my letterboxd, I gave 28 Years Later. Oh my gosh, I gave 28 Years Later 2.5 stars, and 28 Years Later Bone Temple 3 stars. So then again, my letterboxd is awful. Maybe I'll share it, but that's if like people are interested. So that'll never happen. Anyways, aside from the movies, what else has happened? Not much. I watched some movies. I think those aren't the only ones I watched. I watched some Tom Cruise movie like last week. I'm blanking on the name. Minority Report, really good movie. If you haven't seen what was that blip on the screen? Any, anyways, Minority Report, great movie. Again, no spoilers. It's a pretty old movie, but I kind of hate when people are like, "Oh, this came out fucking 30 years ago. If you haven't seen it now, boo-hoo, I'ma spoil it." I'm not gonna do that. Pretty old movie, but it's a good one. Go watch it. Tom Cruise, insane person, but damn, can that man act 20 years ago. His newer movies, I don't really know. And I also watched Uncut Gems, another banger. Psych, I gave it 2.5 stars. The movie was good, but I felt like I was having a panic attack the entire runtime. And then the end was just like, oof, no spoilers. So go watch it. I gave it 2.5 stars. Maybe that's a little brutal. In terms of Adam Sandler movies, one of his best. And aside from that, not much. I haven't really been up to much. Like I'm gonna save all the deep in quotes, stressful, info for the rant. I don't want to just have it be repeats. Yeah, I stayed up again last night. I did get some of the assignments for this week, which I'm done opening my canvas. I hate blurring all that information out. It's so much work. Maybe it's good practice to keep on doing it, but I'm good. But yeah, I was able to knock out like maybe 5 or 6 assignments. They're pretty easy. It took forever. It took like 4 hours, 5 hours. That's the thing with these assignments is that they're easy, but they just take so long. Because it's not just simple like, oh, do 30 questions and you now know the material. No, it's like, it's these websites, these certain learning materials they use where it's like, there's no defined amount of questions. It's like, just keep going until you mastered all the content. And I don't know how it gauges mastery, but Jesus, I feel like I do 100 questions per module in the lessons. It's crazy. And I still have a few more assignments to do this week. Like I have to do a video for my public speaking course. Not looking forward to that. Not because I'm like bad at speaking. I feel like I've gotten better at that over the years. And especially since it's all online. But mainly because the picture I use for my Canvas profile, which I had to put a picture for one of my classes, is so outdated and like I look completely different compared to now. So I feel like it's gonna be a little bit of a, is this the same guy? You know, like what's going on here? I'm gonna wait to record that until like Friday maybe. I'm gonna say I was just about to talk about my math class again. That's in the rant though. Oh yeah, something I left out of last week's diary because I was just so fed up with a lot of stuff. What was that? I feel like whenever I start recording these, I hear every little noise. Okay, let me slow down. So I left this out of last week, not on purpose, I just forgot. But recently, probably like a week or 2 weeks ago, I managed to sideload a singular application onto my iPhone. Crazy. To me, this is crazy because I feel like if you were to ask me like 5+ years ago if you could sideload an app on your iPhone on the newest iOS version, I would have looked at you crazy, probably because I didn't know what you were talking about. iPhones are locked down. You know, they're known for that. You can't download third-party apps and shit and fucking APKs, or I forget what they're called on iOS, like APA files or IPA or something like that. Or you can download the files, but you can't download the app, pretty much. But apparently you can sideload apps, and it's really easy in like European countries and really just anywhere that's not the US. In the US, it's a lot more, yeah, jump through some hoops. And by that, I mean you gotta like verify the apps every 7 days. But I found a way to sideload some apps onto my phone. One app, I don't know why I said some apps. And I set up some shortcuts and some little automations to automatically refresh said apps. And if you're wondering what app it is, because I've been beating around the bush, is YouTube. I sideloaded YouTube. I haven't downloaded YouTube on my phone in months. Like I deleted YouTube off my phone maybe half a year ago, maybe a year ago. I would only watch YouTube like on my desktop or laptop or in the Brave browser, you know, with ad block and all the distractions turned off. But then I found somewhere, I don't know where I was reading it, this thing called YouTube Plus Lite or YouTube Lite Plus, which is like a version of YouTube, like a kind of modified one where it has like built-in sponsor block, ad block, and fully customizable. I got super interested in it. I'll probably take a screenshot of how I have my setup, how it looks, but it's pretty cool, really cool, and super interesting. Is it flawless? No, but it works pretty good. Yeah, pretty cool. That was something I left out of last week's video. Something small, but pretty dope. At least I think it's pretty cool. Anyways, I have 8 seconds left. I gotta go check on my food. I'll be back. I'm back. For you, that's gonna be like an instant cut. For me, that was like 20 minutes. So I have no idea where I left off. But I was just thinking as I sat down, do I even need to keep talking? I feel like I kind of chatted about most of everything. And I was thinking as I sat down, I was like, I don't want to have every diary or weekly update just be about school. Unfortunately, that is kind of what's taking up literally all of my time right now. So it would kind of, you know, make no sense not to talk about it. And I thought it'd be kind of funny to talk about the speech I got to give. It's kind of like an introduction speech, but one of the questions that really stood out to me, I think it was something along the lines of, if you had to pick 3 words to be mentioned about you at your funeral, what would they be? I'll probably post the like direct question on the screen because I don't remember the exact wording, but it was along those lines. And my response, I haven't recorded it yet. I kind of just opened a Word document and was answering the questions, kind of getting like a script going, I guess. Because I found that question to be kind of interesting. I don't want a funeral. I don't think I've ever told anyone this. And not for any particular reason. It just never came up. Like, who talks about their funeral? That never comes up in conversation. But I don't want one. I've always kind of had the idea, I want there to be like a barbecue. Like, not a party. Because obviously there's no way people dealing with grief can have a party, right? That's what I want my funeral in quotes to be. But I know the teacher wants a simple answer, you know? And I get it. This isn't like a writing philosophy class or whatever. It's not something I've given a lot of thought to, but you know, anytime I do think about it, I'm like, I don't want a funeral. I don't want people to be like, oh, he was so kind, blah, 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 saying shit that we all know isn't true. Because people, even the closest people to you, only know the you that you let them know, if that makes sense. Or maybe that's just me. The people closest to me in my life don't truly know who I am. The only person who knows you is you. So I don't think really anyone's in the position to say 3 words about, you know? If they want to, sure. I can't think of 3 words that could represent my existence, you know? like you gotta have a certain level of like narcissism, which I kind of do, I'll admit, but not to the extent where I can be like, I want people to say I was kind and smart. I don't know, and I don't really care. I don't, oh my, I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to start with this one. I don't even know, dude. Oh my God. I just took my first, I guess, quiz for my math course, and I want to, let me just put it in perspective. If you didn't watch any of the last videos I made, watch, like, skip halfway through that last video and just watch the section about the math class. I don't even want to go into it. I'm just gonna assume you already watched it. So let's just pick up with that knowledge. It was like a learning check. I'm calling it a quiz. A learning check on the homework we did this first week. We had 2 homework assignments, like 20 questions each. One was due, I want to say Wednesday, and the other Friday. I did both of them. The first homework was titled Review, right? So I'm assuming this entire week, I'm assuming that the review homework assignment is not going to be on the learning check, because it's review of stuff you're supposed to already know. I'm stupid, as I say every video, so it's stuff I didn't know. After I did the homework and I studied it a little bit, I didn't go back to it throughout the week, because I was assuming the learning check, the quiz, in quotes, was going to be on the actual homework, which was due Friday, okay? And that homework was about complex numbers. I'm terrible at math, so I took this one serious, right? I was like, okay, this one's not titled review. This is new info. I did the homework. It took me like an hour because I really tried to go in depth. Another thing, I watched the lecture that went along with the homework, which the first homework assignment didn't have, which reinforced the idea that it wasn't going to be on the learning check. Keep this in mind, okay? The day comes for the learning check. It's due Sunday night. It is 4 a.m. Sunday. It's always 4 a.m. when I'm recording. I don't want to do this on purpose. I just completed it like maybe 20 minutes ago. It might have been longer. Maybe I've been sitting in shock for that long. I don't know. It was 5 questions. It's only worth 5%. Am I recording? The learning checks are only worth 5%. Let me just open up the canvas. You know, I already showed it last video and did a terrible job blurring everything. So, fuck it, man. Let's just open it again. Oh, I don't even want to look at it. Syllabus. Here we go. Percentage and weights and all that. Homework is 20% of the grade. W, I did both assignments. 100% on both of them. One of them, I think I got like a 102, like a 103, because there was like extra points if you did it like 2 days early or something. Learning checks, quizzes are 5%. Small potatoes. 4 unit tests, 63%. Insane work. Final exam, 12%. So I did the math after, and I came to the conclusion that my grade will roughly be like a 96 after she puts the grade in. So you probably, if you're a smart individual, and you're good with numbers, you probably already calculated what I got on the quiz. I got a 60. I got a 60. It didn't tell you, it doesn't give you the grade immediately, because it's honor lock. Of course not. It's honor lock. Why would they be that nice to give you? Anyways, I already ranted about honor lock. I'm not doing it again. By the way, I got the honor lock right this time, I think. At least the camera angle was right. No issues with that. But during the entire assessment, the entire 30 minutes it took me the entire time. The entire 30 minutes, I kept getting a pop-up, like, make sure you're in view. Make sure your hands, I'm like, bro, I'm. So I had to keep adjusting the camera, like reaching and grabbing the tripod. Oh yeah, update, tripod now. Normally I probably would have been happy about that and talked about it for fucking 10 minutes. I don't care right now. What was I saying? Yeah, I kept getting a pop-up during the quiz, like, hey, make sure you're in view. Make sure your hands are... Shut up. The camera angle was perfectly fine. You could see my hands, you could see the screen. Another thing, I had to download. Oh my God. So HonorLock is, if you've never used it, it's a Chrome extension. So first off, I had to download the spyware Google Chrome on my laptop, which is unfortunate. Good thing my laptop is I have it set up for a dual boot, and the other one is Arch Linux. You know, I had to say Arch Linux. I could have just said Linux, but yeah, it's a dual boot. So when I'm on the Windows, which I'm only using for school, I don't really mind it. It's still kind of invasive. I do have personal stuff on there, but I don't mind having Chrome on there. So I downloaded Chrome. I was using it for the honor lock, and like I took the honor lock like prerequisite thing in the middle of the week. Again, video about that. I'm not gonna go into it. It didn't go smoothly, to say the least. But it was just a Chrome extension. Records your screen, make sure you don't do nothing, blah blah blah. You can't, whatever. This time it was the Chrome extension, plus you had to download an app I just did it because I was like, I have to. I had no choice. Looking back, it's like it's so. I wouldn't be surprised if my information gets sold online in the next few weeks, and I get charged for like 30 iPads or something stupid. I had to download HonorLock, which is designed from the ground up to be as invasive as possible because it's a cheating proctoring software. If the Chrome extension is that invasive, I don't even want to know what that application did to my PC when I ran it for that 30 minutes during the quiz. I'm making it a bigger deal than it is because I'm upset. I'm probably gonna leave that out the video. I don't know. That's how you know I'm in a bad mood. I just reached for my mouse to instinctively check to see if I was recording. I don't even care. I'm not even gonna check. Yeah, oh, I didn't even talk about the quiz. Yeah, like I already said, 60 on it. Bombed it. Bombed it. I have the scrap paper I used. So let me look at that. So the first question was like, it was just like a little setup, like, oh, is your camera angle right, blah, blah, blah. Second question is a factoring polynomial question, which I did and I know how to do because, peep game, that was on the homework review. The homework review questions we had in the middle of the week were about factoring polynomials. And believe it or not, even though the homework isn't through HonorLock or Proctored, I didn't cheat on the homework. I did it legit because I wanted to learn it, even though it's a review, it's stuff I don't know because I'm stupid. I gotta stop saying that, but I am. I don't mind. Okay, anyways. The thing is, if I would have done this quiz Friday or the day after, I probably would have done better because it was still fresh in my mind. But the reason is because after Wednesday or after Tuesday, I think I turned in the Wednesday homework on Tuesday, like night. Monday night, Tuesday morning, whatever. When I did that homework, I did it and I absorbed the information, but not that much because I was assuming I'd have time after this week to go back to it and check it because it's not going to be on a learning check. I don't got to focus on it too much. If you kind of pick up what I'm saying. So the second homework is the one I really focused on and studied throughout the week. I turned it in like a day or two early. I watched the lecture, like I said, which like another 30 minutes. I watched separate YouTube videos. I looked up practice problems and practice YouTube videos and followed along. On the quiz, there was there was 4 questions about the complex numbers, and I checked all my answers afterwards. I got 3 of them right. So that's a good thing. I got 1 of them wrong. I did like the distributing wrong, not multiplication. It was like I'm really bad when it comes to like, oh, like for instance, this was like -7 minus parentheses 4 minus 5i parenthesis minus 2 minus 4i parenthesis. And I did it all out of order and got the wrong answer. That's my bad. You know, that one I'll take account for. I fucked up the distributing with the negatives and all that. Let's get to question 2. Because that question, like I already said, is about factoring polynomials, which was on the homework review. I already said all this. But when I got to question 2, I mean, my mind was just blank. And right before I took the quiz, I probably studied for like 2 hours on complex numbers. And I've been studying like that since like Wednesday, Thursday. The only thing in my mind, you could ask me like a simple like quadratic equation type, you know, like algebra 1 not even type question. What's 2x plus, you know? And my mind would probably just go blank. You ask me about these complex fucking numbers, I'll probably be able to solve anything you throw at me. But anything else right now in my current mind, I can't do nothing else. I think I've learned my lesson. When it comes to cramming in math information, I can't do it. I've learned my lesson, I guess, and yeah. X squared minus 2x minus 48. You're probably like, bro, a fucking 2-year-old baby who can't even talk, walk, or barely chew their food. They don't even have teeth. Do 2-year-olds have teeth? I don't know. They can solve that. And it's like, maybe, right? Probably, most people can solve this. This is like fucking high school math. I crammed my mind these past like 4 days with nothing but shit about complex numbers. I don't know how to do anything else but these complex numbers. I think I talked about this in the last video, the video before it, or maybe I haven't. But leading up to the start of the semester, I was studying every day like 6 hours. Like the week before the semester started, I was doing that dude who does like, he blew up off of studying for 12 hours. He still does it to this day. I still check him out sometimes. Chill dude, cool videos, pretty inspiring stuff. But you know what, I'm gonna do this because I'm not confident in my math abilities. So leading up to the semester start, nearly every day, not every day, but nearly every day, I would do 4 to 6 hours of intense in quotes, because what I'm about to say next kind of counter, intense Khan Academy, you know, walkthroughs and questions. And I did the Khan Academy, that's Algebra 1 and 2. Obviously, I didn't complete all the units, that's way too much info, but I feel like I got enough of the basics to be able to start this class. And I feel confident saying that now, even after what just happened. But I think the main thing is cramming the information I guess now I know the learning checks are on the homework you're given that week, no matter what the homework titles are or what they're about. The 2 homework assignments are gonna be on that learning check, and now I know that. It just sucks, man. Because even though it's only worth 5%, it's the first week, dude. That's the main thing I'm harping on. It's the first week, and it's past the ad drop period. So, I was over here Googling and looking on Reddit. Unfortunately, yeah, I know I look on Reddit. Yep. Boo me, throw tomatoes. And I was looking at people talking about, is it worth it to stay in a class when you're pretty sure you might fail it or withdraw? And I was mainly looking at people who talked about it in terms of like FAFSA, which is very few. That's the only reason I use Reddit, is because usually you can find like these outlier questions. You can find people with those same experiences. I found a couple posts and they weren't really that good, so I kind of had nothing to go off of. And that was like 5 minutes before I started recording this. So I don't know. I'm really considering if I should drop this class. Like maybe I'm just not ready. Maybe I need to do more self-study. If I'm being completely honest with you, I went into the semester really confident. I completed most of my assignments before Sunday, well before Sunday. The one thing I could say is that when I was looking shit up online, it seems like the general consensus is that withdrawing from a course is better than taking the F, okay? And it kind of varies, but that was the main thing I saw. It's a gray area when it comes to financial aid. Because if you're using financial aid, it's like, okay, it's going to affect your eligibility, 1. 2, it's past the ad drop date, so now you got to pay that money back. And 3, it can affect your future FAFSA potentially, right? And all of these questions and more that I didn't even say right now can be answered by going to like the FAFSA office at the school, right? The thing is, nothing. Maybe I should just do that. I think I'm gonna just do it. What day is it? Sunday? I'll probably go tomorrow or the day after. Look at me already procrastinating. I'm in a sticky situation, man. It's week 1 and I'm over talking about I'm in a sticky situation, man. What the hell? I need a day, man. If we're talking strictly just like what I've been doing this week, it's just been every day. First off, my sleep schedule's terrible. As you can tell, it's 4 a.m. just as it was in the last video and the video before that. I think I brought this up in a past video, but some months ago, I was like, I was doing really good, I would say, physically. I was working out, eating, sleeping better, all those things were better. I was reading more, kept that up for a few months, and then I kind of just stopped. Like September, October, and it was like a screeching halt too. I already talked about why in one of the other videos, so I'm not gonna go into it. So it's been a couple months of me just like, honestly, my physical health has not been good, and it's not because like I'm sick or I have something like wrong with me physically, right? I don't want to claim I have like a mental illness, 'cause that's serious, that's something I feel like you should go and get that properly figured out. And I don't want to, LARP as if I do have something. So the past couple months, my physical health is really bad. When I was eating better and working out, I gained like 10 to 15 pounds, which is good for me. That was my whole plan, is because I've been extremely underweight my entire life. And I was like, dude, I need to fix this. And I was on track. I'm gonna just be completely open and honest with you guys. I was weighing throughout my entire teen years, and then before I started working out and eating better, roughly in the 120s. And I'm like 5'11", 6 foot. That's not good. That's not. If you do like the BMI calculator, you can be in the 120s at this height, but it's cutting it close. And even then, it's still not healthy, in my opinion. I eventually got up to 145, which for a skinny person was like, it was huge, man. That was huge. And now, recently, I'm back in the 120s, and then I'm scared to weigh myself because it might be less. I might be like low 120s. Usually I hover like mid 120s, higher 120s, but looking at myself now, it might be lower 120s. I look crazy. I don't show myself in these videos, but if I did, oh boy, I'd look insane. I don't even know where I was going with all that. I felt way better then than I do now. And then I wasn't in school. I wasn't doing nothing but those things. I'm gonna just be honest. I was just focusing on those few set things. And I'm not gonna go like the whole self-improvement, like pipeline, because I've never watched any self-improvement videos. I've never read any self-improvement books. Literally all I did one day, and not one day, it was kind of like almost every day for my entire life. I didn't like looking in the mirror at myself. this video is getting, it's just a complete tangent. Where am I going? I would avoid looking in the mirror because I didn't like the way I looked, right? Not because I'm ugly, because I'm so scrawny to the point where it makes me look like, it's like kind of, you know, or maybe you don't. I don't know. Maybe I should explain, but I'm not going to. So when I was putting on pounds and I was seeing improvement, and although going from like 120 something to 140 something doesn't sound that crazy, when you're that skinny and you've been that skinny for your entire life, you see the difference. When I tell you I could see it, I would look in the mirror and be like, holy shit. I was hyping myself up. I was like, dude, I look different. And I'll never forget when my mom, you know how moms are. You can tell them you've been working out when you have it, and they'll be like, I see it. And my parents knew I was working out. They have a home gym, so obviously they knew I was working out because I was using their gym. She was like, your posture's better. I was like, what? She was like, yeah, when you're walking around, she tried to mimic me. She looked, she looked funny. She like straightened her back hella. And I was like, I walk around like that now? I've gone my entire like teen years being a hunched over, nerd neck, dweeb. So when my mom mimicked my walking posture, I was like, really? That just came naturally with working out and being more mindful and how I presented myself and looked. And mainly the working out. That's the one tip I would give to people. If you got bad posture, work out. During that time, my sister, she didn't know I had been working out or doing anything. Cause I didn't tell nobody. The only people who knew were my parents is because I live in their house. So they kind of were able to see me doing everything. But I went to my sister's one time. She was like, whoa, you been working out? I'm like, that was a good feeling. I didn't bring it up. I didn't talk about it. I didn't post it on social media. She just saw the way I looked, noticed I looked better, looked a little bit, my build was a little bit more full. It's like, oh, you been working out? And those two moments I'll never forget. In the past couple months, it's just been the complete opposite. No. I just checked to see I finished that recording and went to go stop it. Noticed I was recording for 36 minutes, and then when I was talking, I saw the bar wasn't moving. No, my headset turned off. I don't know when it turned off. I'm about to watch it back and find out. Oh, that's where it died. Oh no, it didn't. I still want to keep repeating myself. Oh my god, the last 6 minutes? Oh, the last 6 minutes. I'm over it. I'm over it. That made me, I don't know if I did it. I did not do an outro for the rant. I guess this is gonna be it. If anyone sees this, appreciate you. Hope you're doing well in whatever it is you're pursuing, whether it's, school semester just started or work or whatever it may be, your passion. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing good. Appreciate you for watching. And yeah, peace.